Hello everyone, and welcome to the game of World of Warships. And we're starting with a broadside Minotaur and nothing else. But anyway, today's replay is from Stratus, and I'm terribly sorry for mispronouncing that. Now he's in the Großer Kurfürst, the tier 10 German battleship. He's on the map Haven in a 4-point domination game. There's no carrier. There is 2 destroyers per team. And well, the enemy team only has 1 raider. Now, that 1 raider has not been spotted yet, but you can already see the friendly Kitakaze is not planning ahead here an awful lot. You see, once you enter a cap and you know there is a raider somewhere, you definitely wanna have your nose pointing away. Like, this Kitakaze should have prepared to run in case of raider, and it looks like he is, well, not prepared. He's actually holding position there and shooting things. And well, there is the Des Moines. Not even sure, was the Des Moines close enough for radar, or did he just otherwise get detected? Probably the Des Moines radar, but if you enter a cap, always be prepared to run. And as soon as this radar pops up, you just, like, run away, and you should be fine. So anyway, on the south side we have the friendly Großer who took out the enemy destroyer. We now know where the only radar is. So that Großer could now turn around and actually take B. There's a massive force here in the north, and there are not so much enemies down there in the south. So the friendlies could try to very aggressively push me. But especially like that Großer, he did well early. Waited until the radar was spotted, he got the enemy destroyer. Now all he needs to do is claim his spoils and just take the B cap. Unfortunately he's not doing that, and that might just fight the friendly team in the rear later on.
Fire alarm!
Meanwhile, our Kurfürst here is just turning away because it looks like there is a massive you don't want to push into this force. What the friendlies want is they want the south to take B and the north here to probably just hold position and stop an enemy advance. By the way, something I should also mention. Unfortunately, I'm going away for a few days until Sunday. I'm visiting my parents, celebrating my mother's birthday. So sorry about that, but I'll be back, well, Sunday evening, and then Monday, the usual program will resume. Anyway, we got a broadside Kurfürst there, nice salvo. And the secondaries are obviously opening up. Now he is slowing down here. He definitely wants to keep this Kurfürst inside his secondaries and be pummeling Kurfürst. Also, by the way, Stratus wrote that he has only a 15-point captain and that he is still new to tier 10. So far he's doing an amazing job. Another nice salvo there. Enemy Kurfürst is desperately trying to run away, but we will, I mean, he kinda made it. He's soon outside of secondary range. He turned away. He's now angled, so that Kurfürst might just escape and no. On the sad news part, well, the enemy has secured C and they are now securing B. The friendly forces, despite their numbers, have not moved in to stop anything at B. And that Großer, despite there being a free cap, is sailing out in the open, I think trying to gunboat battleships. Which is not a very helpful thing to do. So, up here in the north, we had that, you know, remember that Montana? He used to be here in the north. He decided to go where no enemies are. That's also not very helpful. Like, there really are no enemies at B. Well, barely any enemies. The friendly forces, the one point where the friendlies don't need reinforcements is the B camp. And the Montana isn't even going to it, I suppose. He's just going for the J line. And I cannot figure out why he would do that. But, yeah. Now we have a broadside Ohio, but the Ohio is trying to angle. Yeah, that didn't do much, unfortunately. But the Ohio is getting low. And yeah, it looks like the friendly forces are dealing with that quite nicely. Yeah, Ohio's trying to heal and he might have found cover. So at this point he could actually try and engage, get into secondary range, make sure this Ohio goes down. I think that would be a decent plan. But we have a Minotaur coming. Is that Minotaur suiciding just to sink that Ohio? Well, okay, he didn't. He survived. But that was a rather risky play of the Minotaur, right? I mean, that Ohio was on very low health, and I feel like the friendlies would have dealt with it in a safer fashion. But hey. That certainly was a nice devastating strike there. So, Kurfürst has healed up quite a bit there, and at this point I think I'd just re-engage and probably try to push the Yoshino and the Musashi. Now we have the Friedrich here, who, like, if you push in this situation, there's a chance that the Friedrich would follow. The Friedrich has stayed around here for a while. Now, of course, the Friedrich is also a bit more healthy, so it might have been nice if the Friedrich led the charge. But I feel like at this position, at this point, trying to push the Musashi Yoshino might prove worthwhile. Now, we still have the Montana down here in the far south. The friendlies have finally entered the B cap, but it's like, I don't think they are getting B. Now that Großer Kurfürst that used to sail around here, by the way, I think he got gunned down by a line at some point, because all he did was like try to open water gunboat battleships, and in the end it didn't turn out so well. And yeah, Zero Stratus is a little bit too broadside to this Musashi. So I would have pushed that Musashi, I think. Like, I mean, the Kurfürst is a ship that has a nose, a Musashi Yamato proof nose. So pushing them is actually a rather nice thing. Of course, you need to get close enough for the nose to matter. But you wanna brawl those guys, you definitely don't want to engage them at range. Now, he was on low health and he was afraid probably to push into this force, but it looks like most enemies are more focused towards the B cap at this point. There is potentially the option to push into C, but I don't think he's healthy enough to do that. Like, there are way too many ships looking at C, but pushing here, like, against that Musashi seems like a reasonable thing to do. He might have hoped that the Friedrich would push, but honestly, it's hoping for your allies to push is usually a very frustrating affair. Then again, like this Friedrich actually stuck with him here on this flank for the whole time, so that's nice to see. Not like a sad Montana that just sailed towards unexplored lands. Now, overall, the friendlies are not that far behind on points. They are equal on ships, but, you know, once again, the enemy just has 3 caps, and they could just contest B again if they sail something in here. Maybe they even manage to take B at some point. Who knows? Now, Zero Stratus is re-engaging the Musashi. And I mean, by now the Musashi has sailed so far away from all allies that he is all alone. And now Kurfürst does what Kurfürst does best, and that's brawl. Secondaries are having a field day here. And he's switching to high explosive because the Musashi is angry. Now, it depends what the Musashi is going to do. Obviously, Yamato Musashis have a very well-known citadel. And if they, like, is it turning some more? We are getting into a potential citadel territory, but I guess the Musashi isn't burning more than that. So high explosive might be the right option here. So she also took a few torpedoes, so that's nice. And Zero Stratus is slowing down. He probably wants to not sail too much broadside towards the enemy fleet. Good plan. Also, you definitely don't want the Musashi to ram. So he's keeping his distance. The Friedrich, by the way, is also here engaging. Friedrich a little bit too broadside to that Musashi, I would say. And it looks like the Musashi is targeting that Friedrich. On the bright side, it allows Zero Stratus to preserve his health a little bit. So, the Musashi seems to be going down, so he's already targeting another ship. And yeah, he's using damage con. I would have done the same, like, well, it could bite him in the rear if the Lion just sets him on fire now. But he's on very low health, he's out of heals. And he can't really allow that single fire to burn, especially since the target just engaged went down. And he might find some cover behind this island. So points-wise, it's looking more desperate, although the friendlies did grab B. And that was just the high explosive shells he still had loaded. He's back to armor piercing now. And we will see. I mean, that Lion is nicely angled, but he has a broadside Yoshino over there. So that's something. The problem is, what do you do in a battleship once you're out of heals and you're on very low hit points? I wouldn't have shot that Lion there. I would try to sink the Yoshino. The Lion is too well angled, I suppose, for now. Shells are looking decent, and there was a nice citadel. So I suppose the friendly Montana will finish that off. And what are we left? Well, quite a few enemies still, unfortunately. So there's 4 enemies left, there's 4 friendlies left, but the enemies really just, they have the points. And once again, the friendlies really wanna take the sea camp, but without a heal, with 18,000 hit points, he can't sail in there probably. He needs to make a little bit more use of cover. That Friedrich might be able to do. How healthy is the Friedrich? Yeah, I mean, don't know if the Friedrich still has heals left, but that Friedrich is certainly in a better position to take C right now. Now they've lost the friendly Montana, it's 3 against 4 and the enemy's at 900 points. So this calls for desperate measures, I suppose. And there is the Hindenburg. Hindenburg is angling though. And there is the Lion. But the Lion is in secondary range and he is somewhat broadside. Unfortunately, his guns are currently reloading. Reasonable hit on the Hindenburg, I suppose. Yeah, this is a bit bad. Now he's angling against the Lion, but he's a bit broadside to the Hindenburg. Hindenburg is wisely just running away there. And the Lion is angling and coming to engage. Now the Yoshino and the Friedrich are helping against that Lion. So that's the good news. And the secondaries are doing their part. Montana would be a very juicy target, but is just outside of range, and the Hindenburg turned broadside. Now he could try to shoot the Hindenburg here, honestly. I mean, obviously he wants to sink that Lion. He went too high explosive because the Lion was angled. But yeah. So, Lion is down. That's nicely done. So, what have we left? We have left the Hindenburg and the Gearing against the Yoshino and the Friedrich, but the enemy is at 907 points. And you know what? We increased the speed here a little bit. So the Friedrich is capping. If he manages to stay in concealment, and he should be able to cap, Yoshino should definitely be going for A here. Because the enemy is at 935 points and it's 2 minutes and 20 remaining. I'm not even sure if they can win if they take all the camp circles at this point. Oh, Yoshino is eating a lot of torps, but he is healing. Hindenburg is engaging to reset the Yoshino. Honestly, it's a minute left. I think if that Hindenburg just stays alive, the enemy wins. So the friendlies need to sink that Hindenburg. Thankfully, the Hindenburg is pushing into a crossfire, showing perfect broadside to the Yoshino. And is in secondary range of the Friedrich. So we are 10 seconds remaining. Friendly Yoshino is also pretty low. Hindenburg is trying to angle, but it means he's showing broadside to the Kurfürst. And they managed to sink that Hindenburg, but it was kind of a fraction of a second too late because they didn't get the points for it. They lost. They were raw. Yeah, with the results, Zero Stratus earned himself 1,700 base experience in a defeat. You know, he might be an inexperienced player, but he really could have fooled me, because he played this rather well, actually. He earned himself E-Confederate, a flesh wound and a high caliber, scoring 253,000 points of damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. A fraction of a second. They needed a fraction of a second more to win this, but they didn't get it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.